If I told you that a lie could kill 6 million people, you would probably think that was impossible. How could a few words be more dangerous than guns and bombs? How could a false story lead to one of the most horrific genocides in human history? And yet, that is exactly what happened in Germany. The most terrifying part is that Hitler did not possess any supernatural power. He simply understood something fundamental about human psychology. He understood how the human mind works. Mechanism 1. Humans need someone to blame. After World War I, Germany was on the verge of collapse. People lost their jobs. Life savings became almost worthless because of hyperinflation. Many families did not know how they would survive the next day. People were frightened. They were angry, and they desperately wanted answers. They wanted to know, why did this happen to us? But the truth was complicated. No one could explain the downfall of an entire nation with a single cause. The human brain does not like complexity. We prefer simple answers. Hitler understood this. He told the German people, "You are suffering because there are traitors destroying Germany from within." Then he pointed to the Jews. It was a lie, but millions of people felt relieved. At last, they had a culprit. Because sometimes having someone to blame is psychologically easier than accepting that life is chaotic and that great disasters rarely have a single cause. Mechanism 2. We believe information that confirms what we already think. At first, many Germans were only suspicious of Jews. But Hitler did not tell this lie only once. He repeated it thousands of times. Newspapers repeated it, the radio repeated it, films repeated it, schools repeated it, posters in the streets repeated it. People began paying more attention to negative stories about Jews. Evidence that contradicted the narrative was ignored. With every new story, they became more convinced that they were right. This is one of the most dangerous psychological traps. Human beings do not always search for the truth. More often, we search for information that confirms what we already believe. And once a belief takes root, it becomes extremely difficult to change. Mechanism 3. Fear weakens critical thinking. Hitler did not merely claim that Jews had caused Germany's problems. He also said, if we do not act, Germany will be destroyed. If we do not stop them, our children's future will disappear. Fear has a powerful effect on the human mind. When people are frightened, they want quick answers. They want protection. They want a strong leader. They want a clearly defined enemy. Most importantly, they ask fewer questions. Things that once seemed unreasonable begin to appear logical. Extreme measures begin to seem necessary. History has repeatedly shown that a frightened society is a society that can be manipulated. Mechanism 4. Dividing the world into us and them. Hitler constantly talked about the German nation, true Germans, German blood. At first, these words may sound harmless, but psychologically, whenever you create an us, you almost always create a them. Gradually, Jews were no longer seen as part of the community. They became outsiders. They no longer shared the same identity or destiny. And once that happens, empathy begins to fade. This was perhaps the most dangerous step. Jews were no longer portrayed as fathers, mothers, children, neighbors, or ordinary human beings. They were described as parasites, rats, a disease, a poison infecting the nation. Think about that for a moment. It is difficult to harm a mother holding her child. It is difficult to kill a child. It is difficult to hurt your neighbor. But what if you no longer see them as human? What if you believe they're a dangerous infection? What if you believe they threaten your family's survival? At that point, moral barriers begin to collapse. Dehumanization is the psychological bridge between prejudice and violence. It turns the unthinkable into something possible.
Mechanism 6. The power of the crowd. Imagine living in a society where the newspapers say Jews are the enemy, the radio says Jews are the enemy, your teachers say Jews are the enemy, your friends believe it, your family believes it. Every day you hear exactly the same story. Eventually, you begin to wonder, maybe I'm the one who's wrong. Human beings are social creatures. We are deeply influenced by the people around us. If enough people believe something, we tend to believe it too, even when it is completely false. This is one of the most frightening powers of fake news. Mechanism 7. Extremism happens one small step at a time. Hitler never said, "Tomorrow we will kill millions of people." No society would accept that overnight. Instead, everything happened gradually. First, they are causing our problems. Then, they are disloyal. Next, they are dangerous. Then, they must be separated from society. And finally, they must be eliminated. Each step was only slightly more extreme than the one before. But together, those small steps led an entire nation into hell. The most terrifying lesson. There was no special evil gene in the German people. These psychological mechanisms exist in almost all of us. All human beings can become frightened. All human beings can search for scapegoats. All human beings can follow the crowd. All human beings prefer simple explanations. All human beings can divide the world into us and them. And all human beings can gradually lose empathy when others are no longer seen as fully human. This is why historians consider Nazi Germany one of humanity's greatest warnings. Genocide did not begin with gas chambers. It did not begin with trains taking people to concentration camps. It began with a lie repeated long enough, a lie that exploited fear, a lie that convinced millions of ordinary people that another group of human beings was no longer human, just like them. And when that happens, fake news is no longer merely misinformation. It becomes a weapon of mass destruction.